paper, they are really vibrant. As you've seen, I haven't used this watercolor much, just because it's so difficult to find them, or at least it was so difficult to find them in Europe. So I've been really parsimonious with these palettes, just because they have specific qualities that I couldn't find with any other watercolors. As you can see, the pigments are really bright and they blend really well. I didn't find any difficulty to re-wet them, and actually the entire process seemed a little bit magical, as they are really chalky. I tried to use similar shades on the watercolors from Schmincke, and immediately you can see how more saturated the colors are, and how easier it is to manage the color and make it do what actually you want. I was talking about a particular characteristic of the Koi watercolors, and I don't know if it's the brand, the composition, or the fact that they come from Japan, so it's a different culture from Western watercolors. But they have a specific illustrative quality, probably, that I haven't found with other watercolors. And you will see what I mean in this little sketch. As you know, the best way to try watercolor is to paint with them, and this applies to all the type of paints. So I decided to draw two identical-ish, very easy mushrooms, and let's see how they compare one to the other. The Sakura Koi are extremely easy to use when it comes to lay down flat washes of paint. I don't know what's about them, but they are behaving halfway between really good watercolors, artist quality watercolors, and wash paint. Their chalkiness that you've seen in the pan kind of translate when you are painting. And on the paper it creates a very flat type of effect. And this is what I mean when I talk about illustrative quality. I've seen tons of videos on these watercolors, and there are so many really talented illustrators that would use these watercolors. I don't know if they can be used for classic watercolor painting. Probably yes. Of course, they have different characteristics from other artist quality watercolor paints, but still, they are absolutely one of my favorite watercolors to use. The only complaint that I have is that it's quite difficult to mix them. Well, the palette surface is not great, and as you know, I do like a big metal palette to work on. But if you see here, when I try to layer a second flat layer of paint and to glaze the paint on each other, it's not really working well and it gets a little patchy. So again, this is kind of the behavior that wash paint has. The first layer tends to be covered completely by the opacity of the second layer. It takes a little bit of practice, but I find that it's probably a plus when it comes to illustrating again something. On to the Schmincke now. Again, I try to use similar colors, but my Schmincke palette is kind of custom made, so I tend not to have the specific colors that matches. But on this little comparison, you can definitely see the different quality of the paint. This is not to say that Schmincke is better or that artist quality paint is better, but it's definitely behaving quite differently. The colors are much more transparent, much more fluid, and it's more difficult to create a flat wash of paint here. Although the pigment saturation is definitely higher with the Schmincke. As I mentioned before, I got my koi set in the US because a few years ago it was quite impossible to find them in Europe. Nowadays you can buy them on Amazon for about 19 euro for this 12-pound set. And you can go up with the set until I believe 48 different colors. Which in my opinion is a big, confusing lot of colors, but if you like it, you can really purchase anything. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anywhere to buy refills of a single color, so you're kind of bound to buy the entire set once again when you finish a can of paint. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel. This will massively help my little channel. You can find this illustration on my website or on my Instagram account. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you very soon. It's long.